Welcome to the Nice as Fuck podcast. I am one of your hosts, Travis Bottoms.
And I am Tyler Sublette. Thanks for being here.
Today, for our very first guest, we have the Kendra Harris from Wildflower Beauty Bar. Thanks for being here, Kendra.
This is the Nicest Podcast with your hosts, Travis Bottoms and Tyler Sublette. Get ready for genuine, unfiltered conversations with Arizona's most fascinating entrepreneurs, business leaders, and innovators. We dive into their stories, their journeys, and what drives their success, all while keeping it real and relatable. And now, introducing this week's guest.
My name is Kendra Harris. I own Wildflower Beauty Bar and Wildflower Skin Institute in the East Valley of Arizona, and I am definitely nice as.
Heck yeah.
You said you'd like to say it. There
you go. All right. Well, welcome to the Nice as Fuck podcast. Thanks for being freaking person number one. I always, when I tell people about you, I always say, like, I want to be Kendra when I grow up. And so my first question is how did Kendra Harris grow up?
How far back do you want me to go?
As far back as you want.
So I grew up with a dad that was like a dreamer. My dad owned countless businesses growing up. He's in IT, he's in software. And so he's kind of like one of those guys that is kind of a know-it-all. A lot of IT guys are, honestly. And my dad did all of it. He owned a book warehouse that was like 20,000 square feet. When I was a senior in high school, he was farming tilapia in our backyard in an above ground pool. So like I would literally have clients walking into our house. I was doing lashes out of my parents' playroom in Queen Creek. And they would be like, what is in your backyard? Because it was literally on the back patio. And it was this huge above ground pool. My dad had hydroponics as well, growing on the top of it, because why wouldn't he? I mean, if you are a true entrepreneur, you go all in all of the time.
I could see where you got your PhD.
Yes, 100%. And that's the thing. My dad never focused on one thing. And he even, I think now in his maturing years, he's kind of slowed down a little bit. But it was just, I grew up watching this man do literally anything that his heart desired. And whether it failed or thrived, it was just, I only saw the glitz and the glamour of it. I saw these cool businesses come to life. And so I was a sophomore in high school and my mom was like, do you want to do EVIT next year? And I was like, sure, I'll do EVIT. I'm interested in makeup. I'm a girl who isn't.
Yeah.
So I went to EVIT and I also wanted to graduate because I hated high school, as does most 16-year-olds. Yeah. So I took some online classes, and before I had ChatGPT to cheat, unfortunately. So I had to do science online, which was quite literally the worst.
Actually had to learn.
Oh, I didn't, but it's a lot easier nowadays. Yeah. So I graduated as a junior in high school with my high school diploma and my aesthetics license.
Okay.
Shortly after I graduated, I was like, I don't want to do this. My parents paid like $300 for my license. Like it was nothing to go through EVIT. And so I wasn't really sure if I was going to do my test. And my mom was like, why don't you get some lashes? And I was like, that sounds really interesting to me. And she said, I'll buy them for you if you only use them on me. And I was like, deal. So she bought me my first order of lashes, and literally it was wildfire from there. So it was in an era where no one knew what estheticians were. I remember I was at a grocery store in probably 2018. And no, this was before then. I was in a grocery store in probably 2014. And this cashier asked me what I do for work. And I said, I'm an esthetician. And he said, oh, so you work on rockets. And I literally looked at him and I was like, no, I give people facials. And he was like, oh, yeah.
Slightly different.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that, because it was so polar opposite from what I do.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, that was a good try, but it was a choice question. But from there, I very quickly went into my very first suite that I was renting alongside a massage therapist. And so I started this out at 17 and I ran. I am a dreamer. I'm not logistics, I'm not numbers, I'm not paperwork, I'm not any of those things. I'm a dreamer. So like you have a dream, I'm going to push you to do it until you do it because I just think that it's cool.
Yeah.
So not because I think you're going to make a lot of money, just because it sounds like a cool idea
Yeah.
and I want to see it. I want to see you win. So I've just honestly, this was the very first year that we had no growth as a company, in the sense that every single year in the last 13 years, I'm now 30, I'll be 31 this year, I have not opened a new studio, opened a school. So this was the very first year that I just focused on what we have. And we are fine-tuning systems at this point. And my husband Scott works with me now. So about 2 years ago was when I got to my breaking point. And it was the point where I could no longer manage 30 people. At the time, it was about 25 by myself.
Mhm.
And I told my husband, who is also very entrepreneurial, he owned a car detailing business for many, many years. And then after that, he painted for a little bit, and then he did epoxy flooring for only about 6 months before I literally had a mentee bee. And I was like, you have to come on with me or else. So
Mentee B, huh?
dude, it was bad. Like honestly, I went to him and I was like, I either need you or I'm gonna have to hire someone at a 6-figure income, which we can't afford to do that. And I'm gonna have to handle that over with somebody else.
Mhm.
And I've been asking him at this point for 4 years to come on with me and work at Wildflower. And of course, no blue collar man is stoked to come and work at a med spa with his wife. And because my husband literally eats, sleeps, breathes freaking red meat and guns. So, like, he wasn't stoked about it, but he knew and believed in the power of Wildflower. And so he came on to the business as just the logistics. He does our P&Ls. He does everything behind the scenes. He knows how much each employee is making us, who needs to improve performance. He does personal improvement plans. He works very closely with my managers, and I get to do the fun stuff. I get to create. I get to lead, and I just get to focus on my community. And that's mainly what I wanted my job to be. Is I wanted to be able to give all of myself to people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, to a flaw. But growing up, I always had a heart for service, and I through and through. I mean, I remember like first grade bringing home sheets of laminated stuff for my classroom, and I would cut it all out for my teachers, and I'd help grade papers, and it's who I've always been. And so now it's just every opportunity I can, I look to serve people in my community because it's just where my heart's at.
Wow.
And so I love that I get to lead and do what I want to do in our community while my husband gets to do the boring stuff, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Hey, boring to some, but maybe not to others.
And he's found value in it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I think he was most concerned because he wants to feel fulfilled. And I think that's very important for men, is to
Yeah.
feel that fulfillment.
Yeah.
And how is he going to find that in the med spa industry? How is he going to find that with freaking eyelashes and moisturizer? So I was like, and it's taken us a little while. 2 years will be this coming January. And I feel like the last 6 months, he's finally gotten his traction,
Sure.
where he sees a difference being made in the business, and he feels that fulfillment of like, I am where I belong here.
Mhm.
And it's only just going to continue to get better from there.
Yeah.
So
Big shout out to him.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember having conversations with Scott about that transition
mhm,
and the uncomfortableness of it, because he is a very red meat and guns, blue collar guy, and
Mhm.
he does not fit. Now he does, Mr. Wildflower.
mhm,
But in the beginning, he's like, how the heck am I going to work with like all women? And like, I just want to get my hands dirty, and like, you
Mhm.
can't do it in that. But
and
he does such a great job.
he does. And so many things have really like fallen into place with all of that. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had the floors done at the school.
Yeah.
He did the epoxy for the school.
Mhm.
He just spent the entire day yesterday hand painting the baseboards at the school. We just painted them fuchsia pink.
Heck yeah.
And
Nice.
if it wasn't for him painting for like 8 months, he wouldn't have had that skill
Yeah.
Right.
to then go to the school, tape everything off in an almost 7,000 square foot facility and do that. And so, I mean, and I feel for him because he was there from 8:30 to 10 p.m. last night. But I can tell you for a fact, oh my gosh, the guy does not get enough credit.
Well, probably loving it, getting his hands dirty.
Yes.
You know, yeah, it's a long day, but like that's what's fulfilling to being able to fix things, build.
Yeah. And he knows that it's making a difference because I told him, I'm like, we need to start making movements moving forward to make this school stand out.
Mhm.
Like at the Institute, it's so different from other aesthetic schools for so many reasons. But like after second grade, I think we can all agree that like education sucks. And it's not fun anymore. Like you're no
Right.
longer like coloring and building blocks. It's like freaking math and geometry and
Yep.
Things that you won't
geology and
need ever again
bullshit
in life.
Yeah.
that I've never even thought about since I was 18 years old.
Right.
So I wanted to create this environment that was not only incredible education, but fun
Mhm.
and lively.
Mhm.
And like you walked into this building and you're like, where do I look? Because there's just so much happening in this space.
Sure.
And so like our brand colors are fuchsia pink, orange, lime green.
Yeah.
And it's just like alive. And so Scott, I just posted actually a reel about it this morning. I'll show you guys. But it looks dope.
Yeah.
Like he painted the break room doors hot pink and then all the baseboards in the building are hot pink. And I want people to walk in the space and be like, this is so fun.
Yeah. Just energy.
Yeah, energy. It just exudes that. And so I want it to be, I don't want it to just be a sterile building where people are like,
Right.
okay, just another day at school. Like
Yeah.
my career is a really fun career. Like I just get to sit and talk about skin all day long. I literally had a teen in my in my chair last week and I was like, "How often do you wear SPF?" And he said, "What is that?" And I was like, "I love you."
Yeah.
It's like
Customer for life.
it's honestly funny because it's like to me these things are common sense, but
Mhm.
then I'm like, "You're so sweet. You don't know what SPF
Yeah.
is. It's so fun." But then I get to educate and be like, "Okay, this is why I want you wearing SPF. This is why it's good for your skin."
Right.
And it's just a fun job. You know,
Right.
it's hard. It's you guys know customer service is exhausting.
Yeah.
But it's also honestly the coolest thing quite
Yeah.
literally ever.
Well, that's the service you talk about. You know, it there's service in giving back to people, but then there's, you know, your everyday just taking care of people and making them feel loved and hearing them. You know, so
Mhm.
many people go throughout the day, and I've got a couple customers in mind that like call us really just to chat, you know, and they may not have somebody to talk to all in their lives or whatever that might be, you know, and just being somebody that they can come to and talk to or spend some time in your chair and you're
Mhm.
educating them and making them, you know, feel good and feel heard. It's
Well, and you just really are there for the chat.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I
Or
think
the tea.
yeah, I mean honestly both. We are
Yeah.
being so for real. We are there for both.
Yeah.
But and it really is a very cool experience to be able to connect with people on a much deeper level
Mhm.
when there is psychology behind people closing their eyes and feeling a different kind of connection with you when they're getting a treatment done.
Sure.
Yeah.
And when I started Wildflower, I named it Wildflower for a reason, exactly what you would kind of think, right? So I was 17 years old and I had these clients that were coming in to my parents' house and they're from every single walk of life that you could possibly imagine. And it just was hard when like I would have someone call me or they would text me and you know we're chatting about their appointment and they're like, "Hey, you know, I felt judgment the last place that I went. I'm nervous about my comfortability with you. Um I feel like I have to look this way to go to other med spas or to go and get my lashes done at other places." And I really just wanted this space where people just felt accepted.
Mhm.
And honestly, I need more men. Like I want it to stop being so like quote unquote gay
Yeah.
for men to get facials because it's just not that deep.
No, skincare is important for everybody.
Skincare genuinely is healthcare. And I think like when I've made it in life, I'll go start fighting insurance companies on it
Yeah.
because genuinely, skin is our largest organ, and we have to take care of it.
Mhm.
And I think that too many men look at it as this feminine thing when it's literally just not that deep. But this goes, I mean, generations back.
Mhm.
Like our father's father's father
Mhm.
never doing anything to their skin and being okay with it. But that's also why my dad is 63 years old and has had 3 melanoma removed in the last year. So, which is the deadliest form of skin cancer.
Right.
And so it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, it has to become normalized.
Mhm.
And I try to create a space where men feel welcome. I try to limit the pink walls as much as I want to have the pink walls. We're going to just keep it to baseboards at the Institute. But at the spas, I really try to keep it as neutral as I can. We just had branding redone. So I had like our colors are like black, chocolate brown, taupe, and white. Um, and I just want it to be a place that's really welcoming because I
Sure.
don't think it should be this like, and have men come in, not often, but whenever men do come in, they look uncomfortable as fuck.
Really.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
they don't really want to be there all the time. And I love the guys that do. I have
Yeah.
a couple of teens who like one of them particular, he plays football and he loves getting facials. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I love you. I'm like, tell your friends that this is not weird.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's just skincare and it's honestly
It's
great.
pampering.
Yeah, you get to come here and you get to lay down and I'm like, let's talk sports. I want to make it as comfortable for these 16, 17-year-old boys coming to see me as I possibly can
Yeah.
because the last thing I want is them to leave and be like, "Mom, I'm never doing that ever
Yeah.
again."
Yeah.
So I try to make it as comfortable as I can. I do work primarily on teens.
Mhm.
I specialize in teen skincare and then skin rejuvenation. So I see a lot of like 40-year-old women who are just looking to like maintain their skin, but then I work a lot with teenagers because I was once one and they
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel for
Awkward time in
teenagers.
life,
Dude.
skincare issues.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's gotten a lot better as the years have gone on, I'm sure, as far as products and availability. But
Yeah.
like, I remember we were buying what was that stuff you order on TV?
Proactive, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Proactive. I was a Proactive teen.
So was I.
Yeah.
My mom had it on a subscription.
It worked.
It
So
was
did we.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. But now there's, way, way better options.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot more options, and I think it's important to understand that it's not just a prescription anymore. Like you don't have to go to the dermatologist and get put
Sure.
on Accutane.
oh,
That you've
the
got
horror stories there.
well, yeah, there's a laundry list of
Yeah.
terrible side effects. So it's been very rewarding working with teens. It's
Awesome.
those very different areas of life, but it's fun because I get the fun and lighthearted from my teens. And it's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
I made the basketball team. I made varsity cheer. Like it's exciting stuff in their lives, but then like these mature people that I see, it's that they're just evolving in life
Yeah.
and they're good people
Mhm.
and they're good-hearted and it's just fun and it's people that kind of relate more to me because they're around my age and we can just sit and literally just bullshit about life. Like
Mhm.
I have one client that I don't relate to at all. She's in her mid 30s, but I live vicariously through her because I never partied. I never did any of these crazy things.
Mhm.
And she does all of it and I'm like, "Tell me more."
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's where the tea comes in
Yeah.
because it's a fun job." Like
Right.
I'm like, I get to like nurture these kids that are going through a hard period of life that's not fun.
Mhm.
But then I also get to like sit and shoot shit with the girls.
Yeah. That's
And then
awesome.
I'm like, "Okay, bye."
Yeah.
Speaking of young people, I don't even know if you remember this, but a couple years ago there was a post on Go Gilbert. A mom posted that her daughter wanted to go to a med spa with like 11 of her friends.
Mhm.
And I obviously love you, but like there's been so many times throughout like our friendship that I'm like reminded of how great of a person you are. And you commented and you're like, I own Wildflower Beauty Bar. They're like 10-year-olds or whatever. And
Mhm.
you're like, bring her into my studio and like it's free.
Mhm.
And the mom, I remember because the mom ended up being a customer of mine. And the mom like still to this day raves about that and like the experience that her daughter had at your studio.
Honestly, I think another thing that when I get bored and I'm rich, I'm going to open a nonprofit
Mhm.
that specifically helps kids in foster care experience what I do, learn how to do it, or just gives them spa experience that they can go in and like enjoy themselves. I don't know why. I'm like, was I a foster child in a past life? I'm not sure. I was like an orphan or something because I feel like I'm also an empath. I feel for everyone and I take on everybody's emotion very easily. And I have a really big heart for that work. I've always told Scott that I would love to foster care at some point in our lives. I don't know if I could actually emotionally handle that because I think there's a lot of heartbreak with it.
Yeah.
But what I can do is I can provide a space for them. And I was actually just talking to my director literally this weekend because I saw a TikTok that this guy opened a barber school inside of a prison. A little bit of a different topic,
Yeah.
but I sent it to her and I said, how do we do this but for women? I'm like,
Yeah.
so how do we get into a prison and open an aesthetic school so that they can get their licenses while they're incarcerated?
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress. It's the ADHD.
Mhm.
But I have a really strong, big heart for foster care and these kids that genuinely are going through the unthinkable. Like if you actually sit and think about it for a long time, it's really messed up that was
Yeah.
the cards that they were dealt in this life. And there's one group home in particular that was also a post on Go Gilbert, and it was a group home dad, and he was looking for like low cost things to do for the 9 girls that him and his wife house. And I commented on it and I was like, bring them into our spa. I'm like, I would love to have them in. And then fast forward to a month ago, one of the girls messaged me that she's enrolled in aesthetic school.
No way.
So
Full
I was
circle.
like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is exactly why I do that. And I told her that. She was like, I just want you to know that like you gave me that experience and I want to give that I want to give that experience to other people. And I was like, this is exactly why I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an impact.
I'm like, I honestly could make the money that I make today, which I've made for the last 5 years. I've not had a raise in 5 years. I can make this money for the rest of my life as long as I could just keep doing things like that. I would be the happiest person ever. I've thought about opening a fund within Wildflower that people can donate into, and it sits there as a fund to give back to our community. So, single moms that can experience these things, women at domestic violence shelters, foster kids for them to be able to come in and receive services that it almost covers the cost
Yeah.
of us to be able to provide these services to people. So, and I'm like, how do I reach more foster homes? And I've made a post about it on Go Gilbert before. I actually just messaged that foster dad a week ago, and I was like, hey, it's time for the girls to come back in because I want to keep doing that. I'm
Yeah.
like, even if I never have another girl message me saying that, she's enrolled in aesthetic school, maybe I was the only person to extend a kind hand.
Yeah.
Like that's a hard life. And I think that as adults, as able adults, it's our responsibility to rally for these kids
Yeah.
as much as we possibly can. And this is just one small way that I can rally for them. I'm like, and it cost me like what? $200
Yeah.
to pay my girls to do these facials. And my whole team was stoked about it.
Mhm.
My whole team was like, that was the funnest time we've ever had. Like, it just was such an hour of like humanity and like humbling ourselves to sit in this space with these people who are experiencing real life things that most adults can't even relate to.
Yeah.
I can't relate to that in a way.
Sure.
But we've all got traumas, and so one way or another we can relate to those feelings of hurt and loneliness that I would imagine that they feel. And so any possible way I can make an income, the word that I was looking for was impact, is definitely what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, we all want to give back in one way, shape, or form, but I think that is what really makes entrepreneurs successful at the end of the day is like a spirit of giving and wanting to give back. It when you give, it comes back to you in some way, shape, or form. So whether that's feeling great at the end of the day, helping somebody, bringing now that girl's in your school, like that's pretty awesome.
Well, and I think it's important to know who you support.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's something that I like always preach is know who is behind the companies that you're supporting,
Mhm.
whether it's Starbucks, whether it's Nice Pest, whether it's Wildflower Skin Institute. Like, you should do the research to know the humans that are behind those companies because they're not all good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's actually more franchises in the beauty industry who are ran by suit and ties who literally work these people to the bone
Mhm.
and are ruthless than there are kind-hearted med spa owners who are just trying to like create a space. And that was like super important to me when I started my business was that I created a space that not only my clients were stoked to come into, but my employees were like comfortable and happy coming into every single day. When I rented my very first space, I will also never forget the trauma that I was put through by the freaking witch that I worked with. I hope
Hmm.
she listens to this. Um, she was old enough to be my mom, and she had a son that was my age, and he was a senior in high school when I was working there. And I went to go meet her, and I was renting with a girl named Holly, and that was who I shared my room with. But I was meeting the two owners of this business that we rented inside of. I mixed up the times. I had it down as 1:30. It was actually 11:30. Holly texts me at 11:40 and she's like, "Hey girl, where are you at?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry." Zipped my ass down to Lindsay and Pecos and got there as quickly as I possibly could. I walked in and this woman is looking at me, glaring at me, like burning a hole in my head. And I was like, whoa, okay. Mind you, I was like freshly 18.
Mhm.
I don't even think that I was 18 yet. It was the summer before I turned 18. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I just accidentally mixed up the times. It's very unlike me. Um, and she just sat with her arms crossed the entire time, did not say a word to me. And then I finally said, I would like the option to potentially do chemical peels if I wanted to, because I was renting 1099 as a lash artist. But I'm an esthetician.
Yeah.
Like, skin is what I just went to school for. I'd like the option to do other services if I can. And she looked at me and she said, if we wanted another esthetician, we would have hired another esthetician. And I said, okay. And then I still did chemical peels in my room behind her back. So, yeah, she was
How do
the
you get
worst.
there? How do you go from renting the studio to then opening up the first like brick and mortar?
So from there, it was awful. Like, she just was so mean to me. And I honestly think it was because I was ahead of my age and she would compare me to her child. And it was not a fun situation. So I actually got out of that before it was even a year. I was only there about 6 months before I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I moved to Santan Mall and I had this tiny, like 8 by 10 room on the second floor of Santan Mall. And this is 2013. So this is like, I don't even know how long Santan Mall had been there at that point. Not more than 5 years.
Yeah.
But it was like way before it was like as huge and busy as it is now.
Mhm.
So from there, a year later, I moved into a bigger room that was actually probably just a little bit bigger than this room. Um, and that was the year that Scott and I got married because I took 2 weeks off of work and I was like, okay, I need someone to handle my clients because what are they going to do while I'm gone?
Yep.
And so I brought on my very first 1099. So she made her own schedule. She was there whenever she wanted to. She did her own thing. And she was great. She was awesome. And from there, I moved into a suite at Santan Mall. So I had my own waiting area and then 3 rooms on the second floor of Santan. And I think my rent was like $2,100. Oh my gosh. Those were the days,
Yeah.
guys. Those were the days. And still all the girls that I worked with were just 1099, which was worked out really well for me at the time. And again, I just wanted this space that was very inviting, super fun, super light. And we were just there to work with the girls. Like, it's just lighthearted. And I wanted to enjoy my work. And so I just wanted to come in like I was working with my best friends every day. And to this day, I'm friends with every single person that I started with. So from there, we opened the Gilbert location that was on Higley and
Guadalupe.
Guadalupe, and we had this beautiful 30-foot fountain right out of the front of my spa, and it was 5 rooms, and I was a brand new mom, and I mean, Mac was probably 8 months old when we opened that spa, and, it was great. It was amazing, and then it was 2018, I switched all of my 1099s over to W-2s, and because I knew the exact experience that I wanted to provide for clients, and I knew that if I wanted to tell people what to do, I needed them to be a W-2. And it wasn't that I'm a crazy micromanager. It was that I knew how I wanted clients to feel and I knew how I wanted them spoken to. And I understood that if I wanted to set some kind of boundaries, I had to have them as a W-2.
Mhm.
So to progress, that's what we did. And then from there, the year after we opened the Queen Creek location, which was at the time 3 rooms. And then the year after that, we expanded Queen Creek, which is now 11 rooms.
Wow.
She's huge. She's a big
Yeah.
girl. And then from there, we opened Chandler in 2021, fresh off of the pandemic,
Mhm.
which that was a doozy. But we made it. And I do have to say, April of 2020 was when we were all shut down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ducey had closed all of the spas down, and that was the 1 month that we had to be closed. And that month, by myself, me and my assistant, I made $20,000 in retail sales. So I was able to keep myself paid. Our rent was paid because none of my landlords gave a shit
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
that there was anything going on.
yeah.
And I was also able to pay my assistant.
Nice.
So it did. I'm just thankful for what we had, you know? And then we opened Chandler, and then the idea of the school started in 2022, the end of 2022. And then we expanded the Gilbert location the exact same year. So we went from Higley and Guadalupe to Rucker and Guadalupe. And we went from 1,500 square feet to 4,000 square feet.
Wow.
So we went from 5 rooms to 14. And so that's like my sweet spot, though. I've found like I love 4,000 square feet for
Yeah.
a spa. It's
Okay.
just like, it's amazing. There's hustle and bustle around the studio.
Mhm.
It's busy and it's just like bursting with life, and
Yeah.
it's so much fun.
Great location, and I think honestly seeing all of your other spas, I feel like that one was the first like time you could actually build Wildflower how you
Yes.
envisioned it,
Yeah.
with the floors, with the mural, with every room being different. Like I think like watching you build that was such like a cool thing, and truthfully that's like where it started. Whereas when I say I want to be
That's
you when I grow
actually
up is
it's so true, because that was the spa that the mural of Wildflower Beauty Bar is graffitied on the wall. And I told my managers that's what I wanted to do. And they were like, Kendra, do not do that.
yeah.
They were like, that's crazy. That's going to look bad. Like, don't do that. And I was like, you guys, but we're not the conventional med spa.
Mhm.
I'm like, you're not walking into my space with freaking plums and browns and bullshit. This is not the like boring old spas. I want people to walk into my space and feel something.
Mhm.
I want them to walk in and be like, this is different. This
Mm.
is not your typical place of going and getting services done. That it's eclectic, it's fun, it's alive, but then also your service is immaculate.
Mhm.
And your service provider is not only kind, a friend, intelligent, but you can feel the intention behind the service that you're getting.
Yeah.
So Gilbert was, and it's funny because Scott and I have been definitely expanding our design with all of the studios. And that's the studio with the least amount of work that has to be done, because I had time, because Scott was with me,
Yeah.
to focus on the small details. And that's where the pink flamingo wallpaper in the bathroom comes in, and the mural, and all of these touches. And it's not even done.
Yeah.
I have so much more that's coming for that spa. But then we expanded Gilbert, and then last September we opened the school.
Yeah, that was
And
where I wanted to go next was how do you go from obviously spa, right?
yeah,
To then now creating a whole entire school because I know obviously a little bit of the process,
yeah,
but like I know that process isn't easy and
yeah.
obviously with all the tie-ups with education and all of those things, how do you go from like spa owner to now school?
I mean, if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I was gonna own a school, I would have said absolutely not. If you would
Mhm.
have asked me 2.5 years ago, I would have said absolutely not. But it's always been something that's been very important to me. Education is very important because my industry is ever changing. I mean, 5 years ago, you couldn't do laser hair removal on a Black person. Today you can. So that is huge. We should be considering all ethnicities when we're looking at these services at different modalities, at different products. We shouldn't be offering services that can potentially harm someone's skin pigment. And so it's a really cool thing that the technologies are ever evolving. Um, and so this has been my entire career is educating my team. I mean, even before they were employees, I would have reps come out. We were doing trainings once a month. We were doing outings together once a month, just to make sure that there was connection with us as a team, but there's also knowledge to give our clients the best experience that we possibly can.
Mhm.
And so as that's evolved over the years, I've always just kind of told myself, like, I don't look at people's resumes to know where they went to school because every single school out here is literal garbage. I mean, the horror stories that I've got from my team alone, it's seriously insane. And now, honestly, I have experienced horror stories within my school, but we can get there.
Yeah.
Whoa. So, it has been, then we fast forward to, I went to a lunch with Paula, who is the director of my school. And I've known Paula at this point for 8 years of my career. She used to work with me when I was at my suite at Santan Mall. And we kind of just parted ways and she did her thing. She moved across the country for a small amount of time. She then came back to Arizona. And then she said, I want to go to lunch with you. And I was like, okay. We sit down at lunch and she goes, I want to open a school, but I don't want to own it. I want you to own it. And I was like, no. And all I'm thinking in my head is, oh my gosh, my husband would literally kill me. Like, because Scott knows Kendra is 10 toes in at any point. You come to me with an idea, I'm like, how fast? How
Mhm.
soon?
Mhm.
When do we start?
Mhm.
I'm in it the moment you give me an idea. And that is to my demise sometimes, but Scott Harris humbles me all of the time. And so we are talking about this and I'm like, there's just no way, Paula. Like, I can't where I'm at. Like, we were just getting ready to open the new Gilbert location. It ended up putting me $70,000 in the hole, which I was not anticipating. I was told that I was quoted something totally different by my contractor, signed a lease.
Just on the build out.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that was just built out.
Okay.
Like, he was like, "Oh, we'll be like 60K in this build out." And I was like, "Cool, cool, cool." Like, that's my TIs. I'm like,
Mhm.
"That's amazing." So then he actually gets me a real quote and it was $135,000.
Oh my god.
So your girl had to get a HELOC out
Do
and
what you gotta do.
we did what we had to do.
Yeah.
So because that's what you do as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, you make the money happen.
Yep.
And I had to pull that out to pay for the build out of Gilbert. And then she's like, let's do a school. And I was like, absolutely not. My husband would literally commit homicide. And then I said, well, what would we call it? And she goes, what if we call it Wildflower Skin Institute? And I was like, I love that.
I'm in. This is me jumping in. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
And to be honest,
Ask for forgiveness and not permission.
I literally bought the LLC that night.
Yeah.
before
love it.
before or after talking to Scott.
Before.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Love you,
honestly,
love you, Scotty boy.
I would have to ask Scott what his reaction was to that because I don't remember, which I've probably blocked it out.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. So seriously, but and then that was a 2-year process. It was finding the right location, and we found a space that is locally owned, and it's like a doctor and his family, which I love. Like, my Gilbert location is also locally owned, and it's been the best experience with my landlord. Like, last year, 2 of the AC units broke. 2 of them, 2 of the 3 on my building. And I was like, I cannot pay $21,000 out of pocket as I'm opening a brand new school.
Mhm.
And he was like, okay, I'll put it into your rent and you can just pay it off.
Wow.
Like, he's literally just been like such a blessing. And he's just a normal guy. And he's like, you're a mom. I get it. I'm a dad. Like, such a good guy. And so I've really enjoyed renting from these people as well. They're just so understanding and have worked really, really well with me.
Awesome.
And so the school was something that I just wanted to breathe life into these people
Mhm.
because it's something new. It's really exciting. Like, you're like stoked about this new career, and it's like 50-50. It's like 50% is like 19, 20 years old, have no idea what they're doing with their life, and then the other half is like established individuals who like work in a dental office or corporate, and they just want something new, and I'm like, I'm here for it.
Mhm.
So it's so cool to get people from different ends of the spectrum of life
Right.
into our school. And we finally found our sweet spot. I went through literal hell with educators.
Mhm.
I did not think that it was going to be as hard as it is to find educators that are not actually clinically insane. But we've finally found our sweet spot. And so for the past like probably 6 months, we've just been like, it's been a breath of fresh air where we're at right now. So
Nice.
now we're just working on building the school and
Yeah.
enrolling students and trying to catch some momentum because we're in the building era, and you guys know that that's pretty shit.
Well,
Yeah.
you've
The trenches are
Right.
the hard part.
Yeah, but you hear all this advice and you see all this stuff online, and it's like those are the moments that kind of shape you as a business owner, right?
Mhm.
And you figure out how to enjoy it, right?
Mhm.
Like, yes, it's hell. Yes, we're figuring out how to pay our bills every day, or payroll, or whatever the heck is the
Mhm.
worry of the day, right? There's always something new, but
Literally.
finding the joy in that too is definitely it's hard sometimes, but it's kind of what makes you a better business owner.
100%. And
Um,
I believe that I believe in God very strongly. I'm a very big Christian, but I also believe that angels will try to speak to us in a way that's not just in your head.
Yeah.
You'll see signs, you'll interact with people that
mhm,
are like that you're like, that's weird that you would mention something like that.
right.
Whatever. And the other day, I think it was Saturday, I was looking at the reports for what we had ran and, looking at my numbers of what we made that day. And I don't remember what it was exactly, but one of the lines said $666.66. I was like, that's weird. Like, what are the odds of something being all sixes?
Mhm,
And so, of course, I went to ChatGPT and I asked. And I just thought that this was really cool. So I want to share it with you guys.
yeah.
So it says that 666 is not actually bad luck, in case you guys didn't know that. Those
Okay.
are angel numbers. It's a nudge from the universe to check your balance mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and yes, financially. It can mean you're focused too much on material concerns and fear, and it's time to realign your trust, gratitude, and your bigger picture purpose. And this is aligned literally perfectly for where I've been the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because if you ask my husband, I have had 3 panic attacks in the last month, which I've never had in my entire life.
Okay.
And you guys know business owning is hard. It is not linear. It is not money bags. And I think that that's what people just think when
Yeah.
when they hear that you're a CEO of a company. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, wow, what's in your bank account? And you're
Right.
like, $16.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this aligned so perfectly with me where I was at today. And it's just like the 66 cents being repeated amplifies that balance and realignment message that I need to like get back to where I'm at because I'm being told that I am in a chapter right now of my life that I'm changing and I'm evolving, which I wholeheartedly believe because I am a micro control freak. And no one knows this but my husband.
Yeah.
God bless the man.
Huh.
But I dissect every single thing that I possibly can. And I will freak out over a paperclip being in the wrong spot because I don't want it to mess anything up or inconvenience anybody or upset any of our employees. And if they're upset, then what are they going to do? And that message was just exactly what I needed
Yeah.
to like remind myself that I just need to like get back to where my roots are and like what
Yeah.
my purpose is.
It's interesting that this is the first time you're not opening a new med spa or in a new building or a school or, you know, anything, but yet you're kind of like in this mode where it's like freaking out a little bit, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, it's almost like the chaos is where you feel comfortable.
It is. But that's been my whole life. I have only endured chaos. I was raised in chaos,
Mhm.
and even into my marriage, I thought that that's all that was normal.
Mhm.
I thought you can't have a good marriage, a husband who's normal and not cheating on you, financial success and peace in your home. Something's wrong there.
Sure.
And then I went to therapy.
It changed everything.
Well, actually, then my husband told me he wanted to divorce me, and then we went to therapy.
Okay.
Because I was a boss at home.
Mhm.
I was a boss at work, and I told everyone what to do, where to be, and when to be there. And I went home and I did the exact same thing to
Mhm.
my husband.
Mhm.
And that's not who my husband is. My husband is blue collar. He's like we both, work off of each other's energy and we work together and this is a team. And I was like, "No, it's not. It's me. And you're here."
Yeah.
And that's not marriage and that's not a partnership. And so that was a huge awakening for me that I was like, I don't want to be the boss at home. You tell me what to do, if anything, because I'm just here for the ride. And
Yeah.
that's literally everything in life. My kids ask me anything. I am that hat that says, go ask your dad. Every single question my children have, go ask your dad. My son's like, can I do my homework right now? Go ask your dad.
Yeah.
Should I pick up my clothes? Go ask your dad. I don't want to make decisions by the time I get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it has all come full circle for me that like I went to therapy and I asked my therapist to his face, can I really have a marriage that's amazing, a husband that loves me and doesn't have a like secret cocaine addiction or porn problem or like 6 other girlfriends on the side, like he just wants me and be financially successful? I can have a peaceful home and like there's no drama? And he was like, yeah. He's
Mhm.
like, I kind of have that. I'm like, that's crazy.
Mhm.
Because I always thought that everyone has something.
Yeah.
That family that you see that they act like they got it all together, he's probably cheating on her.
Yeah.
Or she's a closet psychopath.
Mhm.
Like, I thought that everybody had that
Mhm.
until I was told, like, no, it's actually totally normal and totally okay to have a great marriage, have financial success, and great businesses without having chaos in your life. And I created the chaos all of the time.
Mhm.
If there wasn't chaos and it got quiet, that's when I needed to open a studio.
Mhm.
If it got quiet, that's when I needed to start a fight with my husband. And it was that constant circle of chaos until finally I was like, my wake up call was my husband telling me he wanted a divorce.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like it literally was a light switch in my head that I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to be in control of you. I don't even hardly want to be in control of myself.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'll just show up. You tell me when to be there.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're on year 3 of that. And I've learned and evolved the most out of my entire, I mean, I was operating in autopilot. Like I was just building, going. I can't remember hardly anything of my son as an infant because I was just on autopilot. And then I
Mhm.
learned about postpartum anxiety. And I didn't learn about postpartum anxiety until I had my 3rd child
Mhm.
4 years later.
Yeah.
So it's been a wild ride, but it's like also really, really cool to look back and see the work that we've done, not just on myself personally, but me and my husband that we've done together. And now that gets to roll over into our work because we do work really, really well together
Mhm.
because I am the storm and he is the calm.
You need it. You
No,
need
for
it. You
sure.
need the yin
Wait,
and the yang.
who's the yin and yang with you guys?
I'll let him do it.
I am definitely the crazy one. I mean, we both have our tendencies of things.
Yeah, I can't see it.
But I am 100% like ADD, go, just like give me a direction and I'll run. Where Tyler is like, I feel like I'm the wide receiver. Tyler's the quarterback. He like knows the plays. He does whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, throw it up, and I'm gonna catch it.
100%.
And I think honestly, like having several different business partners now, working with Tyler now, like I see how beneficial it is to have somebody that's very strong in their like confidence and in their skills and everything, but like he is 100% the yin to my yang.
Yeah, you need both. I
Yeah.
mean, you need the dreamer, or else it's hard to get
Mhm.
anywhere, right?
Well, I mean, 2 weeks ago, I got an email that an apartment complex in Flagstaff wanted me to bring Wildflower up there.
Uh
And I went and told I know.
Yeah.
I went and told Scott, I was like, "We have to do this." I'm like, "The apartments are only NAU students, will just be like a wax bar and like basic facials, like they're college students, you either get like broke or mom and dad's money. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing in between." And so I was like, "We could totally do this. This would be legit. It's only 1,500 square feet. It's perfect size. I know who to send up there." Like it was a whole discussion. But a discussion with myself. And Scott said, "No."
You heard it here first. Wildflower Beauty Bar coming to NAU campus
Yeah.
in 3 months.
Right.
No, literally, because they have a gray shell, and she's actually emailed me twice since then
Yeah.
because I was going back and forth with her. I was. Because I told Scott, it's not a no until it's a no.
Right.
I'm like, I know my limits.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not that big of an idiot, but I'm going to jump and find out what those limits are. But yes, we found the limit and it's a no. So
It's a no for now.
It's a no
Yeah.
for now, for sure, because I've always wanted to take Wildflowers somewhere that wasn't the valley because I'm sick of 118, you guys. I just can't do
Yeah.
it forever.
Mhm.
And I would love to just snowbird here if we're being quite honest and just come here in the winter.
It's the dream.
Oh my gosh. So I'm hoping in the next 2 years I'm literally out of here.
Well, that's a good transition because I just got told that we have like 2 minutes. What does the next 5 years look like for
Hmm.
Kendra and Scott Harris and Wildflower?
I don't know. I've
In
never
the perfect world.
made a business plan,
Okay.
which is probably not a good thing.
Me either
But
until I met Tyler. So
yeah,
it's
right?
okay.
That's probably my next
What's up,
step,
Yang?
honestly. Scott's like, "Actually, Kendra." But I haven't made a business plan, and I like to just go where feels organic. And so if something feels organic, I'm going to just follow that, and I'm never going to push something that feels like it's not supposed to work. If I just keep hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, I'm not going to go there. I've got one of my girls right now that wants to move to California, and so we're talking about Newport Beach. So I'm like, I don't hate Newport Beach. We go there every single year.
Yeah.
So
You guys were just there, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a huge possibility, is to take on California next, which like ick, but also amazing.
Yeah.
Their state board really is just the worst. But I don't know what the next 5 years brings. I honestly, all I care about is my peace and just evolving as a person. I don't even care if I have another location ever again. I don't. I love what I do right now.
Except in NAU or Newport.
Or Newport, or the next,
or Montana.
yeah, the next one that somebody pitches to you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to tell you guys something when we get done with this.
Okay.
So, I just genuinely, my 5-year plan is to just be better as a human. As a mom, I want to be more attentive to my kids. I want to be able to show up and actually be present with my kids more. I want to be more attentive to my husband and just be there when he needs me. And that's really it. I don't really care about anything else. I hope, we just keep growing and evolving and just being great.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you don't care about anything else except being a badass business owner, a great mom, a great wife, give back, teach people how to do what you do.
Yeah.
Also start a charity, take care of people, take care
Yeah.
of foster children,
We'll see.
potentially
See.
foster someone. Nothing on the
Yeah.
nothing on the 5-year plan.
Yeah.
But that being said, we are so happy to have you here as our first guest.
Thank
It
you.
means a lot.
We
truthfully.
love you. You've been an awesome supporter of ours, and us to you. You know, we love, you know, speaking the good word about Wildflower Beauty Bar, and
Thank
want
you.
to continue to see your growth and success. And you need to continue to be nice as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
This has been the Nicest Podcast. Enjoy the episode? Say so in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and pass it to a friend. We'll catch you next week. And until then, stay nice as